Nebula, hello. Sorry, I was chatting earlier, but I guess my microphone disconnected, so you didn't hear me. But hello, Nebula. Greetings, my friend. Welcome to the live stream. It's gonna be fun. Young Racilla, hello. What's going on? Welcome, my friends. Welcome. We're gonna give it a minute and let some more of our friends join in here. Draco Scenarius, Lord Commander, hello, my friend. On Twitch. Awesome. Glad for y'all to be here. Welcome to the party, guys. All right. I'm going to get this started shortly. So as the title says, we are doing something a bit interesting. I've done stuff like this before. But I think it's going to be real interesting. This thing that I want to try this time around. So let me take a look-see real quick. PC is actually a little slow right now. All right, let me pause this up. I think I have memberships that I can gift. I can, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and gift those out. Get our boys joined in here. There we go. Beautiful.
Ready to serve, my lord.
Hell yeah. It just starts popping up. That's awesome. Welcome, Crawley88, Lord Empyrean, Bruh XD, Tigerd. Hi, hello, and Jeff Scoble. Yeah, so that's the first 5. I've got another 5 to send. I'm going to send those right now.
Ready to serve.
Bada bing, bada boom. Beautiful. Welcome to Anonymous. I love that. That's actually funny.
Ready to serve, my lord.
Let Lokes, Modibs, I don't know. Jordan Ford, Robin the Fun, and Connor Bateman. Welcome to all our new channel members. Hello, my friends. I hope you all enjoy. If you're here in the live stream, say hello. Don't be shy. It's all right. But yes, that being said, we do have some pretty interesting stuff that I wanted to try out today. For those of you who don't know, I have been obsessed lately with reading, and especially as I prepare to do a bit of writing myself. For those of you who also don't know, I very much want to try and become a writer. Not really like a full-time writer, nothing like that, nothing super pretentious. But I do just, I enjoy reading, I enjoy writing, the ability to craft stories with words, stuff like that. So very, very exciting. I've got 3 chapters of like one book kind of completed on the first draft, and then I'm starting like a short story, and I just completed 6 pages this morning. Really, really interesting stuff. I do post it on the community Discord if you guys would like to join in and see some of those updates. But anyway, so in my pursuit of trying to learn how to become a better writer, I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of studying people's like authors that I enjoy. One of them being Pierce Brown. Because when I tell you, I picked up Red Rising one day at like 6:30 p.m. after work, and I literally did not put it down until 3:30 in the morning, and I read the entire 400-page book that night. That shit had me hooked. It was so fucking good. Genuinely so good. And what's crazy is, like, when I was talking to the community about it, they said, oh, spoiler alert, but Red Rising is the worst written book that he has. Like, they get progressively so much better the further you go. And what I find really inspiring, too, is that Red Rising was Pierce Brown's first ever written book. Not his first published book, not his first successful book, the first book he ever wrote. That was his first book, and it's widely successful. It's a cultural phenomenon. Anyway, so I binge read Red Rising, completed the whole fucking thing. It was phenomenal. I just purchased Golden Sun and Morning Star yesterday, and I'm planning on reading those throughout the week. So definitely a lot of fun reading those. But anyway, so in my obsession, obviously, I went and did some foolish stuff. So I got myself this TikTok shop cup, I guess, and it looks really, really good. Yeah, of course, George R.R. Martin. Are you kidding me? Like, I have with me I got myself a new collector's edition of the I get collector edition, just a different like cover art version, I guess, of Game of Thrones. So I have that on my desk with me. I also have, get out of here, Sanderson. I have The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Read all that, like the whole fucking book before the show came out for Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Uh, Very, very exciting stuff. I love reading. I've been super obsessed with it. My weekend was filled with working to the bone at my day job, which was fucking awful. Worst weekend of my life, by the way. All right, y'all be nice to your your restaurants in the area, because being a restaurant manager is absolute dog shit. It is the worst fucking experience of my life. So working like a bone, or working like a dog, down to the fucking bone all weekend long, and then reading all weekend long, which is why I don't have a video for y'all today, so I apologize for that. Lad flexing on us is crazy. Thanks, buddy. Where do you be buying books? Barnes & Noble, man. Like, there's one literally right across the street from the restaurant I work at. So whenever I'm done with work, I go over there and I treat myself, like, to a book that I can keep forever. I love it. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I've been super distracted, honestly, and I'm just tired, man. I'm real fucking tired. So I've been doing stuff that's kind of more fulfilling to me, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, doing the whole YouTube, making content for you guys is like one of the greatest privileges of my life. But I, you know, don't want to feel burnt out. And I felt myself getting to that point, especially with how frustrated I was at work. Like, my headspace was just not in it, and I don't want to half-ass anything, you know? So I gave myself a little break this weekend. I do plan on having some uploads for y'all this week. But today, obviously, we are doing Red Rising and Bannerlord. This is not going to replace any faction or you know, what's it called? Playthrough that we have currently. It's just something I wanted to play around with. I thought it would be really interesting to try and translate that into Bannerlord. But specifically, I have the gunpowder mod list again, that we utilized for the Gunpowder Knight, basically. So I thought, bring Red Rising into Bannerlord with guns and just conquer everything. Be Darrow Olikos, be Darrow Al Andromedus, and just conquer all of Calradia. So I thought that would be really, really interesting as a future series. And it still kind of plays off of the original idea we had, which was the Rebel Ireland, Rebel Scotland gunpowder mod thing that we wanted to do. So, Orange Dinosaur, hello, my friend. Yes, I see the vision and the aggressive slaughter we'd have. Hell yeah, dude. See, that's what I'm talking about too. Like, I'm super excited for that. Maybe a live series. I'm down for that, honestly. It'd be really interesting to see that come to pass. So before we begin, I wanted to ask, did we want to utilize, so this is one of the Red Rising sigils, I suppose, that's from the series. You can see it actually on the cup as well. So the same Red Rising sigil, similar, you know. So we could utilize this one, or we can make it more like medieval fantasy, and we can go for more of like a rampant wolf. Because it doesn't have to be like 1-to-1 exact, but it obviously, like, somebody's obviously come up with the idea already. I do want to adjust some of these colors. It's not like they did a bad job or anything like that. It's just more so I like the extreme darks, and I prefer like the extreme bright motherfucking reds. So something like that instead. So I'm gonna play around with this. Yeah. Something like that. Like extreme black, extreme red, and maybe we can even add some like extra details around it to kind of make it feel a little more medieval-esque. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, love the war and slaughter. Add like golden edges. I agree with that. I think that'd be really cool. I like both. I'm a sucker for wolves in general. Yeah, I agree. The books are so good. I've literally reading like the first fucking line of Golden Sun. Once upon a time, a man came from the sky and killed my wife. Period. End sentence. Like, what do you mean, bro? I love it. Yeah, golden lining, like embroidery. That's what I was thinking too. I was playing a few with Soyoff Minecraft servers. They've been fun. I get you. Warframe, yeah. Me too. I'm also a sucker for emblems and heraldry. You're not wrong. Yeah, I'm super excited. There's one thing, like, I'm gonna, like, obviously be gushing about this fucking book all stream long. Probably for the rest of my life. This is one of those ones that were, like, I don't know, like, life-changing for me. You know, that sounds so dramatic, but genuinely, I put the book down and I was sad. I was genuinely sad that it was over, that I finished it, because I was like, fuck, I want there to be more. And obviously there is. Like, there's they're working on book 6, which is like Golden or Red God. So I'm super excited for that shit. That just goes to show you like how absolutely badass it's gonna be when it gets down to that point. But what I was thinking is like how sad I got when I finished the book, and almost like how empty it felt now that it was done. I was like, so fucking dramatic, bro. Just so dramatic for no reason. Well, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Yeah. But it was just really, really good. Really well written, in my opinion. I enjoyed every page. Severo is definitely my fucking favorite. Like, there's no contest. Absolutely love Severo Albarca. Love that man. I love the world building too. Like, they did really, really good, Pierce Brown, for his world building. I kind of like this, but I don't like the crown on it. I don't know if I want the embroidery to be around like the main sigil, or if it should be around the banner itself. I'm thinking embroidery around the banner rather than the sigil itself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Any comments on House of the Dragon? Maybe a moon behind it. Yeah, that's true. House of the Dragon. So season 3 I enjoyed. I really do not fuck with what they're doing with Alice Rivers. I don't really give a shit about Harrenhal. Like, please, next season, take me far away from Harrenhal. Like, I don't fucking care about Harrenhal at all. So why do we continue to like linger there? Like, I don't understand. And I kind of do understand. That's the part that like stresses me out the most, is the fact that I do understand why they're doing what they're doing. I just hate that they're doing it. But essentially in the books, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of just missing, or stuff that happens in the background that's important to the plot. But it obviously, like, you can't, it doesn't happen the way it happens in the books, or like in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's inner dialogue, there's meta commentary, there's stuff that exists beyond the interactions of the actual characters. And when you're writing it, it's easy to make that commentary. It's easier to write it into existence so that the reader gets that knowledge. How do you then portray that knowledge to somebody who's watching it and listening for it without, like, you know, having some random narrator or text pop up on the screen to give you context? You have to invent character interactions. You have to invent things that happen and exist throughout the plot in order to portray these new ideas, or to give that information to the viewer. Unfortunately, that comes into the play of fuck ass Alice Rivers and Aemon tripping balls in Harrenhal, you know. And same thing with Daemon. Like, it was so annoying, like so annoying. Definitely not a fan of like the whole Harrenhal arc, if I'm being honest. I don't know what I'm trying to do with this thing, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. The finale was okay. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed seeing Roddy the Ruin. Love the Northerners in that. I think they did really, really good with that. And on just the Siege of Tumbleton, I really enjoyed too. I know it was not a lot of people's favorite, but I think it was really well done. I will say that ending the season on Tumbleton 1 kind of sucks. Like, it isn't the pivotal moment in the war that it should have been for that to be the end of the series. And then even the final shot was so lackluster because you took a character that you assassinated their character by poor writing and basically throwing out every single part of their arc that makes them intentional, that makes them important to the plot. And then you kill them, and then your characters don't react to it at all. You know, so you have these 2 or 3 separate events operating outside of each other's like zone of knowledge that don't really affect one another yet, and then you refuse to interact with it. Like, imagine if Lucerys died at the end of season 1 and the ending shot was just Aemond like freaking out on the back of Vhagar, and there was no reaction of Rhaenyra. You know, there was no Rhaenyra finding out about it. Like, that's kind of how that felt. Like, there's this they played it up to be like this big betrayal by Ulf White, and when he turned the dragon on Tumbleton and whatever, but then it didn't really affect anything else about the main character in her part of the plot. Instead, she found her half-sister who had killed herself, and doesn't give a shit. She closes the window. Like, okay. You know, like, spoilers, sorry, but I didn't really like it. I think let me rephrase that. I enjoyed watching it. Is it the ending I would have picked? No. I think Tumbleton 1 should have been like the mid-season. You know what I'm saying? Not whatever the fuck they gave us. I will say, though, again, gonna amend my statement. I really enjoyed what they did with Ormond Hightower. He made me the right kind of uncomfortable watching him in that show. I think he did really, really good. So giving us all of that Ormond Hightower, his interactions with people, his interactions with Darren, his interactions with Gwaine, were all very, very interesting to me, at least. So I did enjoy that. However, I think they should have ended the mid-season finale with Tumbleton 1, and then the season finale should have been Tumbleton 2. Because now that I've been reading ahead into what we have coming based off the books, is the second battle of Tumbleton. We're gonna get Adam Velaryon, who's gonna fuck off to the Isle of Faces and trip balls with the Green Men at Harrenhal again, which means we're gonna get more Harrenhal. And that's probably gonna last for 3 fucking episodes. Tumbleton 2 is probably gonna be the mid-season there. Because if they spend all of next season teeing up Tumbleton 2, I might be pissed. Like, I might actually be mad. Because there's still so much that we need to cover in this war that Tumbleton 1 wasn't even significant. It's only significant in the politics of the dragon itself, right? Which is why I understand the showrunners decided to put focus on that. But in the grand scheme of things, they are dragging this along because they're so focused on the minute details and the small interactions between characters, trying to characterize, trying to empathize every interaction now, because the book is written in grand strokes. It's like a historical retelling. They are not describing every emotion that came out of every character and every interaction, but they have to invent it and they have to add it in for the sake of the show. And I understand that, but there's a way to do that intentionally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I feel like they shouldn't, they're just not doing it right. They have a good plan. They have a good head on their shoulders. Their execution is poor. And then rather than actively move on with good feedback and make something better, they're just doubling down and being like, yeah, well, this isn't that story anymore. We're telling it our way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, you sound like a petulant child. Like, I hate you. At this point, Harrenhal should be Dragonhall with how often Dragonkin goes snooping in there over and over again. Yes, seriously. Yeah. Very, very bad, in my opinion. Season 2, dog shit. They spent the entire season teeing up this battle, honestly. And I swear to God, if somebody else in that fucking show says, oh, we're nowhere near done, this is just beginning, I'm like, you spent the last 3 seasons just beginning. Y'all better get beginning to getting shit done. Like, don't piss me off, bro. Getting fucking irritated. But I digress, my friends. I digress. Yeah, so we're going to go for this basic little look that I always copy and paste, basically. I always do this for, like, trim and detail sometimes. There we go. Interesting. It's a good trim look. I agree. Am I going to create custom units? Absolutely I am, my friend. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm going to add in the howlers. I'm going to add in wolf pelts, wolf hoods, like the whole shebang. Super, super excited. Again, I have only just read Red Rising. So anything outside of that, stuff like the Obsidians, the Golden Lancers, whatever, like, just, I have no knowledge about that. I know they exist because they were alluded to. I don't know what they look like. I don't know how they operate. I don't know what that military looks like. So as I read through more of the series by Pierce Brown, I think it would be interesting to introduce more units based off of the different colors, I suppose, in the society. I think it would be really, really cool. So yeah, fellas, please enlighten me. What is Red Rising about? I search it up, the answer, and it's either a Song of Ice and Fire or like sci-fi. It is sci-fi. It is not a Song of Ice and Fire. Think of it, so it's a book series. Think of it like The Hunger Games meets Lord of the Flies, but on Mars. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I nominate a troop name, Long Fangs, giving my space wolves some love. Yeah, some Long Fangs. I'm down with that, dude. That sounds awesome. Yeah, and we're gonna utilize the what's it called? The musket and gunpowder weapons as like our thumpers and our scorchers and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise they're gonna utilize obviously just the swords and shields and spears and whatnot. So that'll be really interesting. I'm thinking a little bit more detail, a little more trim, something to give it a little extra edge, which would be interesting. I do want to give it, okay, so here, actually, I have an idea. Give me a second. Me talking myself headfirst into the point. Because the original laurels didn't work, we're going to go for this kind of look. We're going to makeshift some laurels that are going to fit underneath the wolf itself. That's not bad. It's not terrible. I think we can turn this inward a little bit more. There we go. Much better. See? Looks good. Looks pretty good. I like it. Wolf pup or something like that for a recruit. I was gonna go for dregs. They use dregs a lot in the first book when they're describing like the lower ranking individuals from the institute, being the school. So I think dregs being the bottom, I think would be really interesting. And then obviously like infantry units would probably be the reds, and I'd give them a bunch of they have like this kind of sickled curved blade. I think it's called a shotel in the game, like SHOTEL. But it's a Battanian cultured blade. And I think it reminds me of the sling blade a lot. I think that'd be really cool. For those of you who don't know, give me a second. Red Rising sling blade. Not shopping. Whoops. Kind of just ratted myself out there. No, but basically like this, it's a shotel. It does curve forward rather than backward, but a lot of the character art you can see like the blade curves forward like that. Yeah, it's supposed to look like this. So it's supposed to be like a reaping hook where like it curves toward you and then points towards the front, like how you attack like that. So yeah, so a lot of people draw it like a Kopesh, but it's supposed to be like a reaping scythe is how it's supposed to be held, you know? So yeah. But anyway, there's a blade in the game from the mods. It's shaped like a Kopesh, but it's called like a Shotel, an Shotel. And that's what I want to use to represent the sling blade, which I think is really cool. Additionally, there is a razor. There's a weapon called the Razor. It's basically like a steel. I don't know if I can. It's basically a sword that curls up and then can retract and like harden basically on like a whim, you know? So like look at it curled up like a whip like this, and then it goes sharp and he's able to hold it out by the point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it can become like fluid like water, like a whip, and then it can harden into a solid blade. For those, obviously, there's nothing like that in the game. But I think just a regular like there's a two-handed weapon called the Razor in the game, so I was gonna add that just for fun. Yeah, it's a steel whip. Yeah, it's basically a steel whip, but it can straighten like, and you can hold it like a sword. You like obviously have like control over it. You can make it happen. So I think that stuff's pretty cool. All right, I don't want to add too many other details to this for fear of like drowning it out. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Ooh, I agree with that. Give me 1 second, guys. Alrighty, y'all. My bad. Jesus. Whew. Sorry about that. Alright. So this is what the sigil looks like. Looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it as is for now. And we're going to get into actually making the character. Now, the question is, what culture do we need to go for? For those of you who have read the books, being a red, I think going Vlandians kind of just makes sense, right? Being a red, that is. However, I think being part of the Empire would be interesting because, spoiler alert for those who haven't read the books, Darrow, our main character, has infiltrated the high society of the Golds in order to bring it down from within. So I think being part of the Empire just kind of makes sense to do it like that. I was also even considering the Battanians because he's a red. Because they kind of have like that, it felt almost Celtic type culture in the books anyway. So I thought that would be interesting. But yeah, I think Vlandians, for obvious reasons. A rebellion, yes, I love it. Yeah, I knew you would, buddy. I knew you would. All right, let me do something then real quick. Nope. There we go. So we either go Vlandian or Empire. I'll give it a couple of minutes. 1 vote for the Empire currently. Oh, my goodness. 2 votes for the Empire. Empire makes sense for rebellion, but to murder Golds outright, yeah, stick with the big guns. I agree. I agree. We've got to utilize the Golds against them. Now my thing is though, we can be a Vlandian by culture like the character themselves, but then go and join the Empire, you know what I'm saying? I think that makes sense. There's potential there as well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, go Vlandian for the character culture, but then play Empire, basically, and rebel from within. That would be interesting. Full Red Rising. Interesting. Alright, I think that's what I'm gonna go for. I like that idea. Get rid of this. And then this is just the character design to help us create our character. So, I'm going Vlandians for the character design. For the character culture. He needs like this kind of... He's not pale. He's not described as pale, really. But he does have kind of bright golden skin. We're going to make him kind of young. We'll make him 22. Because where I'm starting off in book 2 in Golden Sun, he's 20. We'll make him kind of tall. One thing about the golds in Red Rising is that they're physically superior to everybody else. I kind of like the rugged look here, just because this doesn't really make sense for him being a gold, and neither does the freckled look. This might be the best bet, because he's kind of just clean. He's clean everywhere. He's clean everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, great potential. Vlandian first, then murder golds. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let me pull up my thing here. Ooh, sorry about that. My goodness. My apartment complex does weekly pest control. And I heard her get the downstairs neighbors, which is why I took the break the first time, because I was like, let me just wait until they pop up and I could just get it done and then get back to the stream. But it took her a minute, and then she finally came. She was just beating on the door. So cool. Got that done though. Home is nice and clean, nice and sprayed for pests and whatnot. So I'm very grateful for that. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Whew. You ever think you will reboot the Mars? No, probably not, honestly. Doing the Gunpowder Night series and then colonizing the peninsula was our whole take on doing that. This one is going to be more of like the rebellious take over the continent kind of thing. So I took that one idea and I just split it into two separate ideas. So the colonization of the Western Peninsula, that was the Tauros Order. And then this one's going to be the world conquest, rebel against the Empire, conquer everything kind of shit. Okay? That one's going to be fun. But anyway, so let me pull up my reference photo again. Sorry. There we go. So he's got like chiseled ass features. Yeah, one thing about these golds is that they are genetically, physically superior to everybody else in the universe. And for the most part, they're kind of designed that way as well. So I'm going to just kind of even everything out. Like, they are golden ratio to the fucking max. They are look maxing evil motherfuckers, if I'm being honest. His eyebrows are not really thick, but they are trim. I'll probably go like this. Yeah. I'll just set everything to like the center, right? Make it nice and even. He's obviously going to have golden eyes. Unfortunately, there's no golden eye color here. I could go like white. But I think this is probably as close as that's going to get. So I'm going to leave that one there. As for his nose, he's got a good chiseled nose. So that angle's got to go down just a little bit. I think the bridge is okay to get tucked in. And then the tip height is a little up there. Yeah. Yeah, nice, handsome, chiseled nose. Nothing too crazy. Yeah. I kind of don't like this skin type. Like, I like this one. I don't really like this one, but y'all know I love this one. So I think I'm going to go for this one. And then got a wide fucking jawline. Like, wide jawline. And then his chin is well-rounded. So let's go, like, tuck that in. Yeah. Looks maxing for sure. He's going to have perpetual frown, to be sure. Yeah, I agree. He already looks really, really good. Now I'm at the point in my book where his hair is long. He's got long golden hair. It's literally shining. Look at the reflection. That's crazy. Now his hair is more of like that yellow gold rather than like that white gold. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this one. And he doesn't have any facial hair. But the thing is, I don't like this hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it at all. But he also doesn't have a widow's peak, so doing this one wouldn't make sense either. Alternatively, I could go for like the messier hair look. or we can skip to, because there's other options. Hold on, let me show you. There's other options. So like this being Darrow Al Andromedus. Let's see. What are some other images of his character design? So you got something like that. This is the one we were using. Yeah, see, long hair again. And then the short cropped hair right there is pretty cool. This one this one he has, you can barely see it, but that's a man bun up there. Let me, oh, Jesus. That's how I fucking wanted it. Jesus Christ. I zoomed in too much. Diabolical. Ridiculous. Yeah, but there's definitely some options. Here's another like short hair look. So I mean, what do y'all think? Like long hair or short hair for Darrow Al Andromedus? There you go. This is how he looks before and after the transition from red to gold. That's interesting. I've never seen somebody do one where he's actually a red, so that's pretty interesting. Say short hair? Yeah. My issue is I don't like the peaked hair look. That's the thing. Yeah, short for now, long during the rebellion. I think that sounds pretty good. That makes kind of sense. Yeah, again, the hairstyles in Bannerlord continue to just not be what I what I need them to be. Smaller nose, you think? Yeah, maybe. There you go. Just cut it all off. That's how he's gonna look from now on. Just nice cropped hair. Nice short cropped hair. Fuck it, you know? That one's not bad. Not my favorite, to be sure. Yeah, I think it looks fine. Fuck it. No, I'm going with my favorite hairstyle. I don't care. Y'all can judge me later. All right. So you were born into a family of well, technically they were nobodies. They were a bunch of nobodies, if I'm being honest. All right, I think I'm going to go hunters. They were technically miners. That's the thing, though. So I think blacksmith kind of makes sense there. So give them, like, extra increased strength and whatnot, which would be really interesting. However, I also want the crossbow control. That's the thing. Yeah. That's for gameplay purposes, though. So I think blacksmiths makes the most sense. Josh Street, hello, my friend. We're doing a Red Rising inspired faction in Bannerlord. So I have just created our man. This is a nice little makeup version of Darrow Olikos as a gold. Try to make him look as handsome as I possibly could. Gave him the most golden eyes that I could. But again, it is just kind of within the confines of the game. I do want to give him the scar of like the Peerless Scarred. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so in the books, to become a Peerless Scarred is people among the golds who are like the peak of their kind. You know, like the golds are obviously better than everybody else in the society, but there are still people among the golds that are better than other golds. And those are the Peerless Scarred. Darrow, after book 1, has reached that rank. He is a Peerless Scarred. So he gains a scar it's supposed to be like under the eye, kind of like this. But it's essentially a marking saying like you're somebody who's not supposed to be fucked with. So this is Darrow Al Andromedus. So his parents in the books, obviously he's born as a red, so his family is that of miners. They mine and toil underground in Mars for the benefit of others. So I think making him a blacksmith is kind of like the best bet there for roleplay purposes. It's also going to increase his strength, which is very, very true. Because of all the mining he's done, he is naturally stronger, and his dexterity is much better. But then once he gets transformed into a gold, all of that is amped up by like 100%. So, love it. All right, you are noted for your, I'm gonna say brawn. He has a lot of anger issues, this guy. So I think brawn makes the most sense. We'll say repaired projects, I guess, even though he technically was also actually I'm gonna say village smithy. I'm just gonna make him like stupid strong, man. Yeah. He did not train with the cavalry. Yeah, in the books, he was just a straight-up fighter. He was just scrappy. So I think we're going to give him stood guard with the garrisons. So in the book, it does get very, like, Lord of the Flies. They drop all these students from the Institute into this valley with a bunch of different castles, and we're like, go play war, basically. And so with primitive ass weapons, they ran around and all they did was just fight each other and capture individuals and make, and lay siege to castles, basically, using real primitive shit. So I think standing guard with a garrison kind of makes sense there for roleplay purposes. Yeah, before you set out for your life of adventure, your biggest achievement was, I think I'm going to make, just completely max out his vigor and his two-handed weaponry. I think that'd be really cool. I also want to say hunted a dangerous animal, though, because he does have a wolf pelt, like, cloak, basically. Yeah, I'm going to say hunted a dangerous animal. That's going to increase our valor and our renown. And give us +1 to control and crossbow, which is going to help when we're utilizing gunpowder weapons. So, excited for that. We're going to start him off at... Yeah, I'll start him off at 20. Fuck it. I don't care. Cool. Alrighty. So now let's get... our sigil pasted in there. It's not the greatest, but it looks pretty good. So now the question remains, do we want our characters, notice how his arms are black here and not red. Do we want the main color to be black like the background, or do we want the main color to be red like the wolf? Because there's a way we can do that. Get rid of this. we would just have to make this red. Make this massive. Like that. Because I, for one, kind of prefer the idea of having them all red with black trim. So they all look like just red wolves running out to fight. I think that'd be really interesting. Yeah, red. I like it. Yeah. I think it looks really good. I'm super excited. This is going to be real fucking interesting, man. All right, so we are... I guess technically, if we want to be faithful to the book, we are out Andromedas. Yeah. So in the books, obviously the Golds control everything. He has infiltrated Golden Society. And they have this prefix for their names. So like his first name is Darrow. His full name would be Darrow Au Andromedas. AU is the chemical name for gold on the element table. So he is Darrow Au Andromedas, which I think is really cool. Yeah. Darrow. All right, so I mess around with my settings. I'm going to show you guys what I do with my settings, and I don't want you to judge me, okay? So I turn player received damage down to 50%, friendly troops down to 75%. Everything else stays on realistic. And I think I go veteran instead of challenging for combat. And then I disable player death. And then I turn on auto allocate for clan members. Don't judge me. Sweet. And so it begins, my friends. The journeys of Darrow Au Andromedas. And now we're going to get into the boring shit. And that is creating our unit trees. There's nobody here. There's nobody here to recruit. So much for that. Oh, Jesus. There you go. So 5 regular recruits, which we can take. And then I need at least 1 elite recruit, so we can make the high tier troops as well. All right, a whole bunch of just regular recruits, I suppose. That's cool. Bunch of looters. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I think I could just go to E and find an elite recruit. Yeah, there we go. Elite recruit. There we go. Done. Done and dusted. Cool. Cool. So we're gonna go for Vlandia, for obvious reasons. And these are going to be our dregs. These are the low-ranked, low-performing members of society, basically. They're not just reds in general. They are the dregs of the Golden Society. Right? Yeah, dregs. Much potential. I love creating troop trees, yeah. For the most part, though, a lot of this gets, like, skipped over. Like, nobody enjoys watching this when we're doing custom builds and shit. So, it'll be interesting to say the least. Now, obviously, for obvious reasons, I'm going to throw on the hood. My infamous hood. If I ever had one of these in real life, I would never stop wearing it. It's my favorite cosmetic in the entire game. I don't know why. But it's my very, very favorite. Like, I don't care. Like, judge me if you want. Yeah. So we need basic weapons here. I'm hoping the Shodel pops up. I'm pretty sure it does. They have the sickle, so it's kind of like the sling blade. So that works out in our favor. Yeah, they have daggers, they have bombs. I want to save the bombs for higher tier units. Axes, gladiator, trident. I forgot that's in there. Which is funny because they do have tridents in the book as well. They fought with tridents. So, the question is though, before we give them a melee weapon, do we want to start off our recruits with muskets? Now, what I did with the Tauros order was I try to make it historically accurate. With the rise of gunpowder weaponry, it made it easier to train somebody to aim, load, aim, and fire, repeat, basically, than it would be to realistically, like having longbowmen or archers. You know, like that took a lot of skill and a lot of training to get proficient at. Whereas with the widespread use of crossbows and muskets, that necessity of training and the amount of training it took to become proficient decreased significantly. That and it just became like easier to mass produce like these muskets and everything like that, right? So what if we introduce the muskets early on, even at the dreg level, you know? Or do we want them to be expendable? Do we want them to rush in head first and just start whacking at our enemies kind of shit? You know what I'm saying? But the issue that I find with that is later on down the road, we're going to get to a point where the unit trees diverge, and I'm going to have to, balance too many of these different unit types kind of thing. So that's something that we have to keep an eye out for as well. I want a top hat like Abe Lincoln. I haven't worn a hat in a long time because of my dreadlocks. Oh, Lord. Jesus. That's interesting. You're a madman, bro. Yeah, so I'm thinking we give them no helmet. We'll give them some basic armor. There's so much armor here. So we're going to have to settle this down. We're going to have to whittle this down. So I'm thinking Vlandian, Imperial, and that's it, actually. No, I'll throw in the Battanians as well. Fuck it. For armor, at least. Right. That way it's not like a super massive, expansive list. Now, for the reason why I left the Battanians there is just in case I see any of the wolf cloaks. None of those are going to appear in the first earliest tiers. But I am thinking we can go for like a basic tunic like this for the dregs. And then give them some like leather buttoned bracers, like real basic shit. Like strapped leather bracers. Look at that, real basic shit. And then some basic leather shoes as well. There, y'all get some basic horseman boots. That's what y'all get. Have fun, Umbergon. Fuck it, we ball. Alright. Let's give them one-handed weaponry proficiency. Oh, here we go. We'll give them polearm as well. Yeah, I don't think I want them to have guns, if I'm being honest. I want them to be like rush out there and earn your death kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be interesting. AFC Max, hello, my friend. For those of you who don't know, AFC Max is one of our one and only torrent loyalist, or I guess Lord Commander loyalist in the our channel membership ranks. You know, he's the first and only one. $20 a month. Thank you, my friend, for your contributions. Hopefully a series. Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen for sure. Definitely gonna make it happen. Let me see something. I want to see where this Shodel is. Because I promise it exists. There we go. See, so they have a sickle, but I promise there's another one. It's called a Shodel. I'm not dumb. I promise. But yeah, they definitely have it. They have what I'm looking for. Druidic sickle, I suppose, is what it's called. Anyway. These guys are not going to have any kind of shields. They're just going to be like the rush out there and earn your death kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? I could give them maces and clubs. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah. I like the spiked club. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'll give him a spiked club. Take that off. I might give him some throwing weapons. Do they have like throwing knives in this tier? Probably not. Oh, they do, you know. Yeah, broad-bladed throwing knives. There's only 3 of them. They don't really need throwing knives, if I'm being honest. But it'll be interesting. I'm also trying to find a way, like, trying to make those connections in my brain as to how, like, if it would make sense for the, in the books, you know? Like, is this something that would have happened in the books? I do like the idea of the javelins, though. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, the lowest dregs of society. Sweet. Alright. So now we're going to get into our gunmen, essentially. So, I'm thinking we keep it real basic on the main level of like the unit tree, I suppose, and then the elite tier we can get into like the lancers and the thumpers, the scorchers, and the howlers and shit like that. I think that would be really interesting. So for these guys, I'm thinking just shit, I don't know what I'm thinking actually. I didn't really come up with a name, if I'm being honest. Respect Lord Commander for how long it takes to do this on the start of series. Yeah, dude, this shit is so fucking intense. And because I also have to consider, like, oh, I've already done this cosmetic look before. I'm going to have to change it up, you know? That's kind of the issue we're running into with our House Teague series as well. So it's a little frustrating. But it's all right. It's not like I'm not having fun. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking... There we go. Oriat Gunner. So like the society, the whole government from like the golds to the reds is just called the society, but within the golden people or the part of society that is made up entirely of golds, it's called the Oriat. So we have Oriat Gunners, which I think is really interesting. So I'm going to give them one-handed proficiency, crossbow proficiency, and running and like athletics basically. Get them to tier 2. I think I'm actually... Hold on. I'm going to clear all of this, and we're going to go for bolts and crossbows, because that's where all our muskets are. And I'm going to give them their weapons, their gunpowder weapons. I want, like, real basic stuff. I don't want them to have, like, super crazy power right off the bat, you know what I'm saying? So, 180, 200, 120. Those are pistols, though. Those are handguns. 160, 160, 160, 140. That's a blunderbuss. 190. Yeah. 220. Jesus. I think 160 is kind of the base for it. So 160 is going to have to do. Speed is 80. Accuracy is 65. There we go. Handcrafted foreign musket. Yeah, 180. I think the arquebus is going to be our best bet then. Yeah. There's 2 arquebuses. Interesting. Will I be doing custom companions? Yes, I will be. Then he be yeah, it is a lot of work. And I also fucking change up a lot of the what's it called? The ruling monarchs as well. I create custom characters out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like Godwin II did not actually exist. That was Durther, and I just changed his name and changed his look a little bit. Like I do it all the fucking time. But thank y'all for noticing. Yes, it is a process, and I love every minute of it. All right, so we're gonna start them off with just some basic arquebusiers, if you will, and then we're gonna give them black powder, just basic ammo. Yeah. Tier 2 armor and weapons. And then I'm going to give them one-handed weapons. Yeah. Crude iron sword. Yeah, so I'll give them these sickles. And these crude iron broadswords. Real basic, nothing super crazy. And then we can change the culture back to Britannia, Empire, and Vlandia, and get some armor that makes sense. Yes? I think yes. Will there be a custom fief? Probably. I might make it happen. I don't know where or when right off the bat, but I think it would be interesting. So, I'm definitely not against it. All right, now when it comes to the armor cosmetics, this is where things get a little bit difficult just for the sake of creative freedom. There is art for the books, but nothing official, and the descriptions aren't the best. Like, sometimes it just says, yeah, so-and-so was wearing a helmet, and then refuses to elaborate. So at this point, it is basically up to creative integrity, I suppose, or creative freedom. So we can quite literally do whatever the hell we want. There's a lot of options. I do like how a lot of the Vlandian, or a lot of the Imperial, and a lot of the, what's it called? Britannian stuff have similar looks. So, might go for that. Just like basic gunner shit, I suppose. I do like the nasal helms. Y'all know I love a good nasal cap. Good old nasal helm, you know? I'm probably going to keep the hood on them for these lower tiers. These are like the base of the army, essentially. Expendable soldiers. Yeah, and I like some of these. I like the padded cloth. I like the tassels. I think that's pretty cool. We did a lot of the Vlandian Federation uniforms last time. I think we're going to go for something a little bit different this time around. Yeah, tier 2, 14 body armor, 16 body armor, 20 body armor. Yeah, 15 here. And then 18. Imperial rugged leather armor. Western tabard right off the bat. That's pretty cool. But no, I don't think that's going to be our look. I do want to go for... I like the leather here, but I think that's more of an infantry thing. So I'm going to go for this padded kind of look here. I don't like the green on the sleeves, though. Yeah. Auxiliary armor. Tier 2. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. I like that. There we go. Does better Pikes able to run on its own without RBM? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I've never used it myself, and I could never get RBM to work for me anyway. So I kind of doubt it. But again, I have no real idea. So who knows? Now I've got that was the Aureate Gunner. This is gonna be the Aureate, I guess, Musketeer. Not mad at that. More one-handed, more crossbow, more athletics. Change him to a tier 3. We'll do the cosmetics first, and then the weapon, and then we'll go through and we'll change up the, what's it called? The musket itself. Look at that. Iron and steel broadswords. That's fucking cool, man. 58, 64, 69 cut damage. That's pretty awesome. Highland heavy mace too. Yeah, we're gonna give these guys some wicked armaments, I think. Yeah. I'm just gonna mix and match all of these. Like, I don't rightly give a shit. I think it's gonna be interesting to see them all on the field of battle. So this is where a lot of our creative freedom is gonna start to kick in, boys. Can't wait. I'm gonna try and keep this nasal helm look, just like start to slowly progress a little bit more as the cosmetics go through. So we started with just the nasal cap. I think now we can upgrade it to the, I don't want to go straight for the mail. That's the thing. And I don't want a full cap either. So what I'm thinking is we can go for like the nasal Highland cap. Yeah, over the leather as like the next tier up. I guess that one kind of makes sense. We'll keep the hood and then we'll upgrade the armor. Yeah, and then continuing down that progression, we did the auxiliary armor last time. We'll do the auxiliary with straps this time, I think. Because I don't want to go for decorated armor right off the bat. Oh, but they've got breastplate armor too. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Yeah. I think we're going to stay with like the padded and leather look. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Because I have an idea for stuff later. Yeah. Yeah, the Aureate Musketeer. How do I spell lieutenant? It's Lieu. Tenant. There we go. Aureate Lieutenant. More one-handed, more crossbow, more athletics. Change to a tier 4. Yeah, I'm going to try and steer away from using axes. but everything else is still on the table. So obviously there's swords here, 67 cut, 68 cut damage, 72 cut, 73 cut damage, yeah. Length is 116, speed is 81. That's such a slow swing speed. That's actually awful. So I think I'm going to go here, because that increases to 90 without sacrificing too much damage. It's only -1. So we're going to go for the fine steel Highland sword. Was there something else in there that I liked? I didn't really look at the maces. Yeah, the Imperial Light Mace. That's pretty cool. I like maces. Yeah, I like maces. 101. Length is so short, though. I'm going to go for this one. 91 and 70 length. Yeah, we'll go for this one. Neato. And then we'll continue on with the armor progression that I like. Show me some more nasal helms. Pretty please, sir. Yeah, because I don't want to go for this one just yet. They are a lieutenant, though, so definitely potential for us to give them, yeah, like, look at this. One of these ones, potentially. Yeah, there's so much potential here, dude. I'm so excited. Already, like, the vision is starting to come alive in my head. At least it's making sense to me. I don't know if it's making sense to y'all, but it's making sense to me, so. There's also a guarded nasal helm, but I don't like how conical that looks, you know what I'm saying? So, let's go for, I like this ridged one. I kind of want to save these for, like, the infantry, though. Imagine an army of infantry coming down with these dope-ass helmets. These Imperial-style helmets. There we go. There we go. Yeah. That looks pretty good. Not bad. Not bad progression there. I like it. I'll take it. Yeah. We'll stick with, like, padded armor with leather for the gunners. They're not going to be super heavily armored, right? And then we'll go for, like, full plate for some of the higher tier, you know? That'll be interesting. Interesting dynamics. Yeah. Yeah, they've got so much potential here. Like, that's awesome. I like the cavalry leather here. And the mail shirt. This one's probably the best bet. This one right here. Yeah. Yeah, that natural progression again. Looks really good. There we go. And then the Orient Captain. Tier 5. I'll forego utilizing tier 6 stuff until we get to the literal elite tier companions. Or, you know, you get it. One of my favorite weapons in the game is the wide-follered broad arming sword. It's fast, it's deadly, and its handling is pretty good. And I want to save some of these golden swords for, again, the elite tier units. Yeah. But they look so good. They look really cool. Lord Commander Loyalist, AFC Max 93. Not gonna lie, I think the Gunpowder Knight series has been the best series you've ever done and the most liked compared to other series. Not sure about the most watched. Sad it ended on episode 20. Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. It was definitely my favorite too, but I got to a point where we had done everything in that series that we could have done. with the exception of just conquering the continent, and I didn't want to do that. So that's what this series is going to be. This series will be conquer the continent, use gunpowder, kill everybody, kind of shit. Tonight I won't be able to, unfortunately. I'm sorry, you guys. Y'all continue on without me, though. Because after this, I have to make content for you guys. Tetrarch's Themyscene. Interesting. I've never seen that one before. Yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff here. But I'm gonna go for the basic shit right off the bat, and we're just gonna give them my favorite sword in the game. Yeah. Now give me another dope ass nasal helm to use, please. Please. Ma'am? Do you need something? My cat is being a menace to society. She's so cute though, isn't she? Yeah, she just wants some pets, some lovins. She wants a little bit of lovins. The little shithead. I'll beat her up. Yeah, there we go. Look at this thing. Bop. Aw, damn it. I forgot it has feathers. I'm not a fan of the feathers on this helmet, if I'm being honest. Oh, crying in the club. Yeah. There are these ones. I like these ones. Yeah, with face guard. This one also has helmet feathers. Yeah, it does. Damn. Bastards. She's just hanging out at my feet. She's so needy today. Ooh, these ones are cool too. I forgot about these guys. Oh, I forgot about these helmets too. Damn, so much potential here. So much potential, dude. Yeah. That one's pretty cool. All right, I like it. I think that one's good. And if it, if I need to go back and adjust it, I can do it off the stream. But for the most part, I'm going to try not to do that. Just set myself up for success so that I don't have to go back and change anything. That would be grand. Yeah, so now we've gotten to some of the Western padded armor, which kind of mimics that same look as the Imperial armor. However, there is Imperial leather studded armor over mail, which I think is really cool. So this looks pretty good, all things considered. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so that is our oh, actually, I forgot we have to go through and change the weaponry. Second you're done with this, I have my character ready in Discord for one of your companions, my Lord Commander. That's awesome. Thank you for the $5 donation, my friend. Yeah, so let's go, whoops, crossbow and bolts. We can go through and change all of this. We started with the arquebus, which is 160 pierce damage. I think the next clear progression is going to be the 180. Yeah, that's 220. 180 for the flintlock rifle. Yeah, just makes sense. 180. And then into the 200 for the well-crafted flintlock. And then the 220 for the expert crafted flintlock. Sweet. Easy peasy. So those are our gunners, basically. Aureate Gunner, Aureate Musketeer, Aureate Lieutenant, and then Aureate Captain, which I think is really cool. Yeah. Super sick. All starting from the dregs of society. So now we're going to get into our infantry. I don't know if I could do this every time. I would find a way to save it and just change the colors. Yeah. Dude, when I tell you it's such a pain in the ass. But I love it. Like, this is where I get to be the most creative because I get to look at things like, you know, how would this culture have evolved, you know, this style of, you know, cosmetic, like, and obviously like the shape of everything and the color scheme of everything makes like really, really important sense. But it's the helmet that gives the most personality right off the bat. So trying to find a helmet that really pulls everything together, not just the faction idea, but the culture behind it, the direction I plan on going, and the overall aesthetic that we're trying to portray. Like, you could have you could be this golden army of angels or whatever, and then have armor that's like covered in spikes. It doesn't make fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where my mind goes, and I like to piece shit together. Super convoluted and frustrating for absolutely no reason, but I do it because I'm a sick masochist. So, it's fun. All right, that was the Aureate Gunners. This is going to be the Aureates. I don't know. I guess just like swordmen, infantry. No, because I don't really plan on using spears all too much. I'm gonna have like a separate regiment where they use pikes and shit, but not, I don't know, not so much spears. I'm gonna say like Aureate Scorcher. Yeah, so the name that they have for like guns are Scorchers and Thumpers is what they call it in the books. So these guys are actually gonna be, no, because fuck, I don't know what I want to do with these guys if I'm being honest. Let me think it out real quick. Give me just a second while I think it out, because in the books they fought with primitive armors and weapons. They didn't really, they utilized bows and arrows. But then again, this only existed in the Vale, where it was a test. It was a test to see who among them was the best and the brightest. So they were forced to fight with primitive weapons and armor in order to prove their worth. I feel like I have to keep reading to figure out like where guns in this society like make sense. Obviously they fight with sling blades and razors in the books. So I don't think giving the infantry pistols would make the most sense. I could probably save that for high tier troops. So if anything, yeah, we'll just go for infantrymen. Fuck it. I don't really care. It makes sense until it doesn't, lads. Makes sense until it doesn't. These guys can be our spear and shield infantry. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Start them off with just some basic spears. Short militia spear. Perfect. Then give them some shields. I like the kite shields. I think it's going to look really, really good with our sigil. So that's what I'm going to go for. Again, no axes, but we will use swords. Oh, there's a Highland short spear, though. 32 pierce compared to the... Oh, that's 32 pierce as well. 88 speed, 127 length, 75 handling. Yeah, okay. So the one I have is already better. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. Yeah, and then we'll do this again with these weapons. Sweet. Decorated. Yeah, because I don't want to go for the nasal helms. I use the nasal helms a lot. And this time around, I think I'm going to try and avoid that as best I can. Or like, you know what I mean? Like these ones, like the Western nasal helms. So I'm going to avoid that as best I can. And I'm going to go for... where did it go? This one. It's just the open Imperial helmet. Yeah. For our basic infantry. Also going to keep the hood around. And we'll use, like, actual armor and weapons and whatever for the elite tier units. No axes. Yeah, no, not this time, buddy. Sorry. Alright, now for these guys, we can actually utilize some plate and some mail. When you get to companion bit of this and I submit my character, do you want me to give myself basic level 1 armor, or do you have a preference? I have a preference. I will be making everybody's armor designs just so it fits into like the overall vibe here. The question I have to ask y'all is, even though you haven't read the books, just know like it'll make sense to me, but like, are you a red, are you a gold, and are you a howler? You know what I'm saying? Because being a howler means you wear a wolf pelt. If you're a red, you're probably gonna wear like more knightly armor. Well, not really, just I guess more crude armor, not basic, not ugly, but like crude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as refined. You look battle worn. And if you're a gold, you're gonna wear like refined plate, like beautifully crafted armor and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the vibe I was going for. I know that probably does not mean shit to you, so I'm sorry if that's confusing, if that doesn't help at all. Yeah, I like the Federation uniform, but I'm not going to go back to that. If anything, we'll start off with some leather and call it a day. Yeah, and we'll get the boys some plate van braces. And some plate boots. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Oriot infantrymen. Yeah, that's fine. Remind me the unit progression of a Roman military. Is it legionary first and then centurion and then legate, kind of? Like the bulk of, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, the bulk of the legions would be a legionary or a legionnaire, and then into a centurion, one for every 100, and then into the legate, which makes sense. Okay, never mind. Just talked myself headfirst into the point. I don't know if I spelled that right. Legionnaire? A-I-R-E? I don't know. I don't remember. My character request would be Severo Albarca. Let's fucking go, man. Severo is my fucking favorite, man. Like, there's something about him that just, like, blew my mind as a character. I loved reading about him. Can it be both? Yeah, you could be a red howler. That's fine. I'm fine with that. If you're a red, you're probably going to have red hair. And if you're a gold, you're probably going to have golden hair. There's probably not going to be an in-between. That's just how it goes. My character is going to be named Mahogany, so it only makes sense that she's a red. I like that. That's pretty cool. There's a female character in the book named Mustang too. So Mahogany Mustang. It's not bad. It's pretty cool. That's her nickname. That's not her name. That's her nickname. But regardless. All right, tier 3, Oriot Legionnaire. Now we want to start upgrading the armor and weapons a little bit. I think if we go for this one, it should be fine. But there's also this one with a ridge on it. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I want to try and avoid the kettle helmets at all costs as well. just because I overuse that look way too much. It's not that I don't like it, it's just I don't think it'll fit for this particular faction build. So what I'm going to do is give us this one. Yeah, because I did the same, didn't I? No, I didn't, actually. Completely unique. Because I'm just that good at what I do. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm thinking, if anything, give them one variant where it has the ridge on it. Where did that helmet go? Yeah. No, I don't like that. I take it back. I take back what I said. Don't judge me. Don't judge me, lads. Alrighty. We are cooking with fire. We're cooking with gasoline, boys, boyos. Boys and boyos. Yeah, because see, now we can get into some of the breastplate and actually start to give them some heavy armor. You know what I'm saying? I think that's fine. Plate van braces. I don't want to give them gauntlets right off the bat. But I think I'm gonna. Ooh, the Highland Iron gauntlets look good. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. Oriet Legionnaire. Rumor has it they're cousins. Well, that's impossible, because if Mahogany's a red, Mustang is a gold. So, nice try, sucker man. Sorry, work keeps texting me. I take you to my house, and you don't have a choice. I like that Highland mace. I think I'm gonna add that one in. This Kontos-headed lance looks really fucking cool. Thrust attacks can dismount riders. Ooh, interesting. Can I make you a gold? Yeah, you could be a gold, my friend. I'll make that shit happen. For you, bud, anything. You want my left kidney? Brother, it's yours. Just ask. I'm just kidding. Please don't take my kidneys. Please, please. I don't really like these. I don't know why. There's something about these style of spears. Not a fan. Not a fan. Alright. Federation Pike. That thing looks deadly. Yeah. Kontos-headed lance. Sorry. 34 pierce, 90 speed, 63 handling. That's kind of bad. There's a Battanian Pike, but I don't want these to be my pikemen right off the bat. So, simple common spear, 38 pierce. What is this one? 34? Yeah. I think I'll just go for the commoner spear. I think that's fine. Yeah, 38. There's a pilum. Bonus against shields. Yeah, no. I'm going to go for the common spear. That's fine. I guess I'll keep the shield we currently have for now. I'm not too worried about that. Druidic sickles, which we can replace for the steel sickles. Bada bing. Iron sword. That steel broadsword. And give me that Highland mace. Yeah. Good, well-rounded warrior, I think. Pretty cool. You're gonna get an invoice tomorrow. Oh my god. No, please, please. It was just a joke. 'Twas but a jest, my lord. Aureates. That was the Legionnaire, so this is the Centurion. Aureates Centurion. One-handed. polearm, and athletics. Change it to a tier 4. And let's fuck shit up, lads. Alright, that was the simple commoner spear. So now, I guess we could go for the knight lance. Because that's just one of the next best one. Jagged head lance. That's interesting. Yeah, Severo Albaca. Love that guy, dude. Love that guy. Best character in the book. You can't tell me otherwise. And if you try to tell me otherwise, just know you're wrong. 44. 46. Light Manavlion. Dunka 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 dunka. Take you to my house and you don't have a choice. Dunka 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 dunka. Yeah. Fuck it. The shield. I think we're gonna just keep the shield the same. Like, I'm not too worried about it. As for the weapons, however, definitely gotta switch these up. We can give them the sword that I like. Alternatively, we could also give them two-handed weapons, but I think we'll save that for the elite tier troops. That should be fine. Steel Paramarion. Yeah. 73 cut is the peak. 72 cut. 66 cut. 72, 68. 67, 64. Yeah, so 72. 84 speed. 90 speed. 81 speed. Yeah, so we'll go for the Steel Highland Sword again. That's fine. And now let's switch up these freaking helmets, man. See, because now we're going to get into those, yeah, into these bad boys. So again, not really a fan of this one. This one is fine. Yeah, because that's the plume. This one has feathers, so definitely not wearing that one. Not a fan of the feathered look. All of these are okay. They look pretty good. But I'm not gonna backtrack and put those on. So I think we're gonna go for this one, the decorated like ridge one. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Super excited. And then the next natural progression. We want to stick it out with the padded cloth over leather. I think the padded cloth one, just because it's going to give us that pop of red under the armor, which is going to look really cool. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Imperial mailed gauntlets. Sweet. Time's going by fast. Yeah, we've already been streaming for 2 hours. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. Yeah, so Aureate Centurion. And then Aureate Legatus. I guess Legate makes the most sense, actually. Because Legatus is plural, no? Question mark. I feel like that's correct. I am correct. And if you tell me otherwise, you're a doo-doo head. I don't know why I said that. Just being dumb. Ignore me. Let's see. Yeah, we're back to the fine pikes, but again, I don't want them to have pikes right off the bat. Western Thamaskene Steel Spear. I think we're gonna go for that one. And then these guys can have the Knight's Kite shield. As for the swords, yeah. 84 and 81. Nice. 72, 99 cut. Oh, that's a two-handed weapon. That's why. I was like, 99 damage. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's a Battanian two-handed broadsword. Jesus. Yeah, we'll save that for the high tiers. Yeah. 82 and 80. Themyscene steel arming sword. I think we'll use that one. That's fine. All right. Now give me a nice, cool, Imperial-looking helmet that I can utilize here. I want to try and steer away from some of the obvious ones. I like this helmet, but again, it's got the pee-pee poo-poo feathers on it, and I don't want that. I'm just being annoying. Let's see. I might have to just suck it up and wear the one with the feathers on it. Yeah. That sucks. But I'll do it. I don't care. It is what it is. Yeah. It's not, like, horrendously ugly. It's not really a deal breaker for me either. I don't prefer it. That's all it is. My cat is screaming at me. I don't appreciate that. Tell her I said to shut the fuck up. Over Akaton, over Striped Gambison, over Male. Yeah, there's lots of options here. I think I kind of want to go for the reticulated plate because it still looks, yeah, like that same. It's literally the same style. That's awesome. Yeah, I like it. And this time we can give them some like plate armor, at least some plate boots. I want to go back. Hold on. Give me tier 4. Give me some plate boots. Yeah. Plate boots. And then I want to put these arm pieces back on. These ones. Yeah. That's fine by me. Pretty cool, man. All right. So this is our basic unit tree for now. This is the Dreg into the Aureate Infantryman, the Aureate Legionnaire, the Aureate Centurion, and the Aureate Legate. I love that. And then down the range side, we have the Aureate Gunner, the Aureate Musketeer, the Lieutenant, and the Captain, which I think is pretty cool. Not bad. Clear progression. They have a unique style to them. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, look at that. And the red and black looks so fucking sick, man. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. And now, these are going to be our Peerless. As in, like, the Peerless Scarred. So, that's going to start off these guys here. We're also going to go Vlandian for the culture. No big deal. These guys, we will utilize two-handed weapons and, like, pistol and shield combos, which I think is going to be interesting. I'm going to start these guys off at a tier 3. Actually, hold on. Give me my hood. I always start off our elite recruit with the hood as well. And then we progress into the better armors. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I also, because they're elite tier, I start them off at a tier higher than what they're supposed to be at for their armor. So the elite recruit is a tier 2 unit. I give them tier 3 armor. And weapons, obviously. Empire, Britannia, Vlandia. We'll start with armor. Now for these guys, I also have a kind of vision in my head for them. But it's gonna get a little messier because this is where we're gonna split and diverge a lot of our trees in order to make everything that I want to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can start them off with something pretty basic, nothing super crazy, but I'm thinking maybe one of these kettle helmets should be fine. Yeah, just so they stand apart, you know? Not really like book accurate. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, actually. I'm just going to start them off with this one, honestly. I think it's fine. What legend are you crafting today? Today, my friend, we are doing Red Rising in Bannerlord. So I have created a faction centered around Darrow Al Andromedus, also known as Darrow Olikos of Mars. So super excited. This is based off the book series Red Rising. Ooh, the cloth with submarils. That's going to be an interesting look. It's basically Hunger Games meets Lord of the Flies, but on Mars and in space. Would I ever co-write a book? I think that would be awesome, actually. Because I have all these book ideas, these things that I'm working on. And as cool as they alone, like, I just kind of worry about, you know, messing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want that. Obviously, I don't want to mess it up. Nobody wants to mess up a project that they're really, like, into or anything like that. So, I think by being able to start off collaborating on something with somebody else, I think that would be a really interesting idea. I would be into that idea. But I just, it's, you know, just a matter of finding somebody who'd be interested in that kind of thing. I'm sure all of y'all would be interested in that kind of thing, if I'm being honest. But that's because you guys are a bunch of badasses, so what can I say? Sweet. Alright, I want to see what these guys look like. Aw, that's pretty cool. I thought the cloth would go red with it. I'm gonna change that armor real quick. I thought the white bit would have gone red, but it didn't, so now I'm sad. It's alright. We'll try something else. No, because all of that's gonna stay white as well. Darn. The white is cool though. Can't lie. White's pretty cool. I wonder if I can give them kind of Celt piece down at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? That'd be pretty cool. Like this one right here. because I think the Celt tunic would be pretty cool, like a nice, interesting flavor to add to that cosmetic. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't really like that though. That's the thing. Decisions, my friend. I think I might just go like with the basic leather armor here. Like mix and match it. So like some of them get those ones and then some of them get these ones. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Because that's still going to give us plenty of red and black in that armor design. I think they look good. I'm also trying to get into book writing as well. And you have found someone. Hell yeah, dude. I watch all types of anime, superhero games, Game of Thrones, fantasy type stuff. And I've been talking about making books for the longest time. So when you brought up writing a book, I felt like I was on the right path. Fuck yeah, dude. I will admit to y'all, I've been feeling real burnt out from like the YouTube scene. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, like being able to make content for y'all is such a privilege. It's just, I lack proper time management skills, I suppose. But I also just, you know, all of my time is just, I'm stretched so thin with all the shit that I want to get done, you know, every day of my life. Like, I have to go to work 50 to 60 hours a week, which saves me, what, like 72 hours per week, after sleep is accounted for every day. And then 48 of those hours are spent because I'm supposed to get 2 days off. So within those 48 hours, I'm operating, I'm trying to like clean up my apartment. We're doing chores, we're doing errands, we're getting shit done that we need to be getting done. All kinds of stuff, you know, and it's difficult. It's really difficult to manage like that. And on top of that, I want to start writing, but you know, I don't want to spend 2 years creating draft 1 and then another year of like editing, proofreading and rewriting and, you know, whatever else. I mean, I can, like, if it was worthwhile of a project, like I would do that, I would commit to that. So I'm in my head, I'm looking for areas like where can I claim more of my time back, and showing y'all the process here of what it takes to create a playthrough, even before we get down and actually start recording. You know what I'm saying? This is all technically set up, you know. But anyway, I digress. So I've been real tired lately, and I was just kind of like looking for a sign of like, am I still on the right path kind of thing. And then I picked up a book and I blew through 400 pages in one night. And now I'm like in my head thinking, you know, this is the power that I want. I want to be able to create stories, and I want them to have an impact on people the way this book had an impact on me. And so I think it's really important that we have people that want to be creative in that outlet, regardless of what your outlet is. You know what I'm saying? It could be video games, it could be art, it could be whatever. But I think we need to prioritize more creativity in our lives. And I love YouTube. I'm never going to quit YouTube, but I want y'all to be scared about that fact. There may come a time where I start to claim more of my personal time back, more of my personal life. It'll probably get to a point where I only upload like once or twice a week, you know, once every other week, you know, twice a month. Probably not, but I don't know. I've also gotten really tired of trying to make plans and trying to make shit make sense, and then everything just falls through because life gets in the fucking way. So I've also learned to just hold my fucking tongue and keep my mouth shut about the things that I want and the things that I need to get done. Because the moment I make a plan for something to happen, any kind of action plan, it immediately falls through. So it's nothing against you guys. It's nothing against the content that we make. If anything, I just hate working 50 to 60 hours a week. If I had a 40-hour work week instead, like, I'm sure everything that I'm bitching about right now would be significantly consequential. But unfortunately, that is not my life right now. Yeah, lack time management skills, the most relatable words ever. Yeah, I've been enjoying doing a little bit of writing. So I did like 6 pages today, which I really enjoyed. That was a lot of fun to write. So like the main project that I've got going on now is this story, basically like Steelhaven, right? So the concept is that there's this academy or institute. I'm trying to steer away from like, you know, calling it that, because I don't want it to be Hogwarts but Knights. I don't want it to be another like schoolyard academia kind of thing. It's supposed to be like, there's like a genuine theme there. Anyway, so there's this Steelhaven place in the middle of this war-torn peninsula, that acts as like a neutral third party. Like their whole thing is literally neutrality, like keep the peace kind of shit, right? What they are essentially is an institute of knights that safeguards the peninsula, protects the innocent, and teaches other knights how to do that, basically. But rather than do it for specific like a crown, rather than doing it for like a specific religion, rather than doing it for a specific human entity, they do it on behalf of like the divine virtues. So the pantheon, one of the main pantheons in the peninsula is called Divinite, you know, or the faith of divines, basically faith of the divines. So there's 9 divines that are personified by 9 constellations in the sky. Think like Skyrim, like how the different standing stones have constellations. You know, your skill trees are based off the constellations. Those constellations are the divines themselves. Each of those divines safeguards are a particular virtue, you know, loyalty, order, change, perseverance, stuff like that. So there's 9 of them, right? And so these Knights of Steelhaven, they've created 9 knightly orders to represent those virtues, right? They don't swear to a divine, but one of those virtues speaks to them in particular, and they get, you know, they join that knightly order. So we have this kid who has run around before with this other like local knight, and he's fought skirmishes against the sun worshipping southerners, basically, of the peninsula. He's harbored like this great hatred over these people and stuff like that, and he's like super angry. He struggles with like this inner burning hatred that he has, and this burning temper, basically. And so he joins Steelhaven because he wants the prestige that comes from being a Steelhaven knight. One of the distinctions I want to point out for y'all is that Steelhaven is not the Night's Watch. It's not an oath of life. Like you can go in, train to be a Steelhaven knight, be knighted, and then go and fuck off to your home country and swear your loyalty to them. Like, that's fine. They're not here to keep you trapped. You know, a lot of people stay within Steelhaven because they believe in the ideology, right? Alternatively, a lot of like nobles will send their children to Steelhaven to go get knighted and then bring them back home to add prestige to their own house. And Steelhaven is like, fine, I don't give a shit. We don't pick sides anyway, right? But they have accumulated so much strength in their knights that they operate as a neutral third-party authority. So if 2 countries want to go to war against each other or whatever, like, they can do so, but the moment they cross a certain line, like villages start to burn, the small folks start to suffer, you're gonna find 10,000 Steelhaven knights on your fucking doorstep. They're gonna be there, and they're gonna be like, hey, you fucked up. You know, they don't pick sides. They're like, I'm not fighting on their side. I'm fighting against you because you fucked up. And that's kind of like their whole spiel. So what happens is the entire northern countries of this peninsula is stuck in a stalemate. They refuse to move against each other because Steelhaven has not given them the go-ahead. They said, you don't want to fuck around and have 10,000 Steelhaven knights on your doorstep afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, this kid, he joins the academy thinking he's got everything figured out. He's going to become this like super badass knight. He's going to fight everybody and just prove that he's better physically. And the academy like actively beats his ass down and is like, not physically, but like teaches him that his mentality is wrong. So it's kind of this journey of this kid coming from like a really angry individual who thinks he's got everything figured out to not to realizing he doesn't know anything and learning how to be, you know, how to think and, you know, feel more. He's like on a, I guess, journey of like empathy, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to figure it out. So my plan is, instead of committing to that beast of an ideology, I'm writing short stories within that same universe, just like either years apart or, you know, different countries, whatever, stuff like that. And so that's what I did. I wrote 6 pages today of a short story, which I think was a ton of fun. I'll post it into the Discord when I have a second, but it'll be fun. The commoners do in fact love them, and especially because as a commoner you can go to Steelhaven and train to become a knight and they won't turn you away. It's also not like the Hunger Games. They don't expect you to die in this academy. They don't want you to die in this academy. Like, you can either make it as a knight, or if you fail, we'll just send you home. You know what I'm saying? If you break any of these rules while you're there as an aspirant being an aspiring knight, they will send you home and you will be refused back again. You know, like, their intention is not to weed out the weak and cull the weak so that only the strong inherits knighthood. No, it's like, it's something that is supposed to be there for everybody. It should be accessible by everybody. And that's the idea. That's the ideology that they hold, which is why so many people throw their support in for that academy, is because they're like, you know, just genuine good at all times. They literally fight on behalf of virtue itself, not on behalf of gods, not on behalf of crowns, not on behalf of gold or glory or whatever else, literally just for virtue's sake. You know what I'm saying? However, in the story, what I wanted to do was create these, like, highlight these undertones where it's like, your neutrality has made you scared to act. And so because of your hesitation, bad things happen and people die, you know? So it's kind of like a meta commentary about, like, you know, your intentions may be one thing, but that doesn't absolve you of consequences, kind of shit, you know? So anyway, apologies. That's all I want to do for this unit tree for now. I would like to send the boys in to go and fight and try some shit. Hello? My earpiece is not wanting to work today. There it goes. Anyway, my friends. So we have some of our units set up today. Let's go and test their metal. Actually, hold on. I wonder if I can get some more units, because 17 against 28 is kind of diabolical. I also need to set up my own weapons and armor as well. Alright, let me see. Yeah, there they are. So now I'm going to add my own weapons and armor into this. I'm going to go ahead and give our man Darrow his wolf cloak as well. He's such a youngin'. I forgot we started him off at 20. That's kind of diabolical, I'm not going to lie. I need a helmet to start him off with. Nothing too crazy, though. Yeah, he looks like a howler. Sick. I can't get him a wolf cloak. That's lame. Boo. That sucks. Ooh. Yeah, I forgot about these. Yeah. I don't want to start him off with like super high tier armor or shit like that. So start him off a little basic and make him earn his keep, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, that's tier 4. See, because eventually I want one of these helmets. That thing looks cool as shit. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I'm going to keep the horse, though. That's the thing. Nice. There we go. That looks fucking sick, man. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, man. Short war razor. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so we gave ourselves a short war razor, a basic musket. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Some basic armor. That way we can still kind of earn our keep. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get ourselves some food as well. Fish, grain, and meat. All the necessities of a good old military. Yeah, looking okay so far. He's not bad. He's a little bald kid, to be sure. Or he looks bald, but it's just because his hair is cut short. That's it. That's the only reason. We could give him this. But I like this better. I like that it's got chainmail armor. So I'm going to get rid of that. Eventually, I want to get ourselves like the full wolf helmet and everything. But for now, he's fine. So, with that being said, now we can attack. Shut your damn mouth. Yeah.
Stand your ground! Make us a shield! Form a ring! Shields up! At last! Give them hell! Attack! Ladders up! Stand fast! Warriors!
Yeah. Darrow Au Andromedus. Yeah, Darrow is a member of the Au Andromedus, a rising new clan from the lands of the Vlandians. He has the reputation of being daring. Yeah, I love that. We attack. Let's do it, boys. Let's test out our units, get them blooded, and see how we like it.
Move out! Get moving!
Yeah, so we've got one of our Peerless Scarred with us. Not bad. It looks pretty good. What the fuck? Oh, I forgot to take off the headdress. I forget that by default they start off with some head wraps. Yeah. I forgot these guys have javies.
Infantry! Footmen! Lower arrows! Everyone! Cease shooting! Arrows! Shoot at will! Footmen! Take them down!
Huge.
Warrior! Charge!
Come on, you bastards. Ooh, this weapon might be a little too strong right off the bat, because I just cut straight through all of them. That's crazy. Yeah, that was pretty cool, though. I am Darrow Au Andromedus, and I have been wronged. I would have lived in peace, but my enemies brought me war. My aim is jack shit, but that was pretty good, man. Not bad. We lost 4 of our dregs. Let's take some prisoners. Nice, yeah. Yeah, yes. There we go. So now we've got 10 Oriot gunners and 5 Oriot infantrymen. Not bad, dude. Not bad. I'm very excited. This is going to be really fucking cool, man. Yeah, very excited. Sweet. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add companions. I won't do a whole lot today. I'll probably just start with 4 companions tops. So, if we have 1. Yeah, Severo Albarca. Yeah. Nice. Sweet. Yeah, you in the black. Notable skills, not bad. Scouting is one of them, 95 scouting. Verduna the Huntress, another scout. And tactics this time, that's pretty cool. Gertland the Black. Yeah, more scouting. I think that's it. And then the Rain Right. Okay, so this is my engineer. Sweet. Fuck me, man. All right. I think we're going to change you in the Black to be Severo. I know he's a short king. I'm talking like short as hell. Why's he already got like that Chad chin? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. All right, I know that this kid's definitely got long, messy ass hair. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him crazy eyes, honestly. Can you make me a gold? Make my name Sir Maxwell Carter. Hell yeah, dude. Mahogany the Graceful. Nice. Yeah, good old Severo. And I know, spoiler alert, he does in fact lose an eye in book 1. So, good old Severo. And I know this kid's got some messy ass hair. I'm thinking even like this. Give him that wolfish hair. I think it looks great. Yeah, Severo Albarca. My favorite fucking character, dude. That's awesome. All right. So let's get a new companion in here. I have Mahogany the Graceful, Severo Albarca. Let's see. AFC. I don't have your request. I don't know where it's at. Are you sure you put it in the right spot? Because I don't have it. I don't have your character request in the Discord. So I'm going to go for Mahogany the Graceful. She's tall, strong, with dark red hair. She is bold and brave. Frontline fighter that is ruthless. Super funny and always has jokes. She loves to fight. Her strength is unmatched, and she is very honorable. She moves with such grace, almost like she's floating. For her size, she's very light on her feet, and she is fearless. I like that. That's pretty cool. So built and tall. Yeah. Sweet. That sucks. Sweet. All right, that's 2 out of 4 so far. 2 out of 4. Oh, the trident one. Okay, I see. Hold on. Let me find him. Okay, I found him. All right, Sir Maxwell Carter. Brown eyes, full beard, full plate. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. I see the vision. All right. Maxwell Al Carter. Yeah, very nice. Also need people. All right, I'm gonna make Maxwell Carter my quartermaster. Severo will be my scout. My engineer is gonna be Gisil Child and Wainwright, but my surgeon will be Mahogany. So, being a frontline warrior, she knows how to utilize medicine. So I think that just kind of makes sense. Cool. Sweet. Sweet. Alrighty. Things are looking pretty good. Maxwell, Severo, Mahogany, and Gissid Child. So, I do need one more companion. One final companion will set us up for success for this. If y'all want somebody to be our builder, our resident builder. There we go, I got one. From Sir Duckley the Fourth. Sir Duckathy, if you will. Considered a bronze. Interesting. So this is Octavius Al Sicaro. Sweet. Considered a bronze. That'll be interesting. All right, Octavius Al Sicaro, an unimpressive gold. Octavius comes from a small family and is considered a bronze. He has short, cropped hair, a mustache, and is a skilled healer. He is an axe wielder that knows his craft. He is very compassionate, humble, and helpful. He wishes no man harm, but knows what must be done to help Darrow and his rebellion. That's awesome. Sweet. So unimpressive, huh? So we're gonna make him kind of like mid height and everything. Sorry, that's my work alarm. But I don't work today, so I'm not listening. He's kind of chopped, not gonna lie. Considered a bronze, huh? And a mustache, he said. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks pretty good. This Mario ass nose. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it. It looks pretty good. All right. Octavius Al Sicaro. Yeah, not bad. Did I leave her as 44? I sure fucking did. My bad, dude. Yeah, I definitely did not mean to do that. There you go. All right, Severo Albarca, Mahogany the Graceful, Maxwell Al Carter, and Octavius Al Sicaro. The bronze. Not bad. Pretty interesting, dude. Pretty interesting. All right, let's get everybody outfitted for war. Good and proper.
Oh, good and proper, I think. Ugh.
Damn. All right, Loki. I think I'm just going to copy and paste these loadouts, if I'm being honest. For the most part. I know that Severo definitely needs his wolf pelt. The full thing. Yeah. Yeah, he can't wear any kind of wolf shit for his civilian outfit, so he's gonna be wearing a hood. You'll be fine. Sweet. Okay. Not bad. For the most part, everybody's going to start off with some really weak shit, okay? So I don't want anybody to freak out or nothing like that. That's just the intention here, okay? Everybody's going to start off with some basic armor, basic weapons. Literally nothing super high tier. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, super, super simple. Yeah. Yeah. How fun. How exciting. Yeah, Severo Albarca. God, I love him. Best character in the fucking book, man. And look at how chiseled his features are, man. Like, look at the way the light catches the bone structure in that man's face. He's a gold through and through. Tough as fuck, bro. Yeah, and here's our red. Our Lady Red. Mahogany the Graceful. Maxwell Al Carter. He looks like a badass, too. I kept him kind of older just because he seems like the type to have, like, experience. So maybe he's like a seasoned officer who fights with us. And then, of course, the Lord Reaper himself, Darrow Al Andromedus. Fuck yeah, dude. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. I'm excited. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool, lads. Yeah. The Squidward. This chiseled Squidward. Yeah, Squidward. Yeah, and with our new steward, you can get a lot more troops. Oh, they're faster than us.
We got no
Nice.
quarrel with you. I'm in command.
Yeah, and my companions will fight by my side.
Warriors, move! Onward! Footmen, move!
Yeah, look at these Aureate gunners. The red and black looks really, really good. There's one of our Peerless Scarred. Maxwell Al Carter, Severo Al Barca, Mahogany the Graceful, and Octavius Al Sicaro. I love it. Nice. And look at that sigil, bro. That's crazy. God, they look good. I missed. That's crazy. Ooh. Don't worry, guys. I got this. Oh, shit. He shot me. Nice.
We've been blessed.
Yeah, very nice. This has the potential to be a very, very interesting, very cool playthrough, I think. And I'm very excited for it. Look at that War Razor. Jesus. Yeah, not bad. Pretty sick, man. Pretty sick. Yeah, they're short kings next to next to Mahogany. Yeah, you are not wrong. You are not wrong, my friend. All right. I don't want to do too much else with this playthrough just because we're already in the middle of another one. So I don't really intend for this one to start anytime soon. Though I could be convinced, you know, y'all know me and my terrible, terrible habits when it comes to stopping and starting new fucking playthrough series. But I digress nonetheless. So. Yeah, Sir Elendor Verdane. Yeah, he was cool. I liked him a lot. Alright. There's one or two more tasks that we have to do before we can move on with this, right? And that is changing the color of the Empire. If the Empire is going to represent the golds in this, they can't be running around with red and purple sigils. You know what I'm saying? So we can... I think it's like... color? Or maybe it's not under campaign. Maybe it's diplomacy. Change kingdom banner color. Southern Empire. There we go. Yeah, see, so it changed it to pink and, you know, gold or whatever. So we're just going to keep going until we find a nice golden color that we like. Ooh, that one's cool. Okay, I like that one. Northern Empire. Yeah, the goal is to get them all to be gold. Or have some kind of gold in their sigil. That's going to be too confusing, so I'm not doing that one. There we go. I like that one. I kind of like that one. So you've got the gold background on like this kind of grayish. Then you've got this dark background with the golden sigil, and then you've got a white background with a golden sigil. So you've got 3 different empires of golds here, which I think is pretty cool. So now what I want to consider, right, now that we stand at the precipice of these 3 golden empires, what we need to find out is who do we want these different emperors to be, because there are definitely a ton of what's it called, enemies. Yeah, look at that. We can change the names too of the ruling clans. So imagine it's like this guy becomes Nero Augustus or some shit. His name is Lucon, so we can change him to like Lucon something. Here, hold on. Let's go like Lucior and change his clan name to the Owl Ostikos. Yeah, he is Lucior Owl Ostikos, Emperor of the North. That's pretty cool. Yeah. We'll edit his appearance too, just so he looks like a gold. Give him a goatee instead of a beard. Sweet. Yeah, Lucior Au Ostikos. Sweet. I like it. Alright, so that was the Northern Empire. Southern Empire. We can keep an Empress. That's fine by me. Regea. But we'll name her... What do we name her? Nah, he's a platinum and still an ass. Lucius Cornero. Oh, I like that. Okay, hold on. I like that, actually. So let's go back. You say Lucius. Yeah. Lucius Au Cornero. Fuck yeah, dude. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Alright, time for Regea. We're gonna switch up Regea a little bit. Low-key, I kind of like Regea. It's not bad. But I think we could probably shorten it and just name her Rhea. Rhea Alpethros. Nice. Very regal. Not bad. Valentine. And then Western Empire. Gyarios. Just thinking Garion. I'm thinking Garion kind of reminds me of like a bronze. Whoops. So he's Garion Albronzus, right? He's like, he tries very hard to exist above his station. Yeah, so he is Garion Albronzus. Oh, Quintess. I kind of like Quintess for Regea, though. There we go. Rhea Al Quintess. Not bad. Yeah, and we still just need to change Regea's hair. Whoops. Yeah. Rhea Al Quintess. We've got Lucius Al Cornero. We have Garion Al Bronzus. Bro is a wannabe gold. No, dead ass, man. Like, look, even his sigil is like bronze instead of gold. You know? So that's pretty cool. I like, and they're like the militarized arm of the Empire. You've got the lawmakers here, and then you've got the purists, the traditionalists, stuff like that. And each one of these three golden empires see the other as like fool's gold, basically, you know, trying to exist above their station. And so they're all civil warring against each other like they do. And caught in the middle of all three of these superpowers is our boy Darrow Al Andromedus, the Reaper of Mars. I love that. I'm probably gonna put like a castle or a town somewhere with the with our custom fief mod and call it Mars, Castle Mars, something like that. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Ooh, gave myself chills. Sorry. Yeah, but this is essentially where our story will begin when we actually get to the point of you know, playing this playthrough. As of right now, though, probably not going to play this one just yet. But that was fun. I do hope you guys have enjoyed today's live stream, because I'm going to end it right here. This was really, really cool. Thank you all very much for participating in the live stream and for throwing your input in for this playthrough. Really excited, really excited for this playthrough. Shit. We need to see this soon. I agree. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Still have to play the House Teague playthrough and everything like that. And then I don't really want to do another Realm of Thrones until I think I'm finally gonna go ahead and upgrade all my mods and shit like that and try and update Bannerlord to one of the newest versions. Somebody had this idea to do like a northern playthrough with war sails, and basically like do Brandon the Shipwright, you know, become like a northern seafaring superpower kind of thing. So I wanted to check it out. I want to see what's up with that. And we'll see what happens. But for now, that is it. We are going to continue our House Teague playthrough. We are going to continue, for the most part, our Band of Bastards playthrough. And then at some point, we will be doing our Red Rising playthrough. So, but until then, my friends, always remember honor and service, glory and sacrifice. And I, your Lord Commander, will see you in the battles ahead. Goodbye, my friends.